Now, I'm going to speak about secondary DPS abilities. And why do I consider them secondary? Like I've said, the Scoundrel is a class, especially with the Scrapper skill tree setup. It's a class that requires you to be on top of your enemies. So these are secondary DPS abilities which might be of use to you in certain situations, but in my opinion as a Scoundrel, most of the times they haven't been useful. So, but just in case they are ever useful to you, I might as well cover them. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to be using abilities such as Take Cover, Sabotage Charge, Charged Burst, and Vital Shot. Oh wait, here comes another one. Here's another chance to give you the full rotation. So let's go over here. Back Blast, Blaster Whip, Vital Shot, Sucker Punch. I should have done Pugnancy there, but I can get Pugnancy anytime I want to. Another Blaster Whip, another Sucker Punch, and down you go. These guys are actually pretty easy, but whatever. Now, regarding the secondary DPS abilities I was talking about. So let's say I want to engage this group over here. See that icon over there? That indicates that I can take cover behind that rock. So let's go do that. Taking cover behind the rock, this switches your top bar immediately for the cover top. And what you want to do is, these are abilities that you can use. They still do a decent amount of damage, but obviously your Scrapper skills will deal more. Stuff like Back Blasts, Blaster Whips, Sucker Punch, Flying Fists. That's going to be the stuff that you're going to be doing. Not a lot of this, but just in case you ever come into a situation where you're required to use cover, I'm going to go over it as well so that you can take as much profit out of it as possible. So once you're under cover, my favorite ability to use is probably the Sabotage Charge. How does this work? It sticks a charge in an enemy, and the next time that enemy takes damage, the charge will explode. Whoa. What's up with that? Let's clear out this guy over here. Back Blast, Blaster Whip, Pugnancy, Vital Shot, Blaster Whip, Sucker Punch with Flying Fists, Back Blast again, Blaster Whip, Sucker Punch, down he goes, and you, Back Blast and Blaster Whip. There we go. This was my cover. You should never take my cover away, especially when I'm doing a guide. Thank you very much for that. So let's go ahead, back onto cover, as you can see. And now, let's show you these abilities, shall we? Sabotage Charge. I'm going to Sabotage Charge that full patroller over there. I'm going to shoot him once to trigger the charge. Charge takes him down. You can throw these thermal grenades from cover, so you can use those as well. And then there is the Charged Burst. Now, this does a lot of damage. However, it also consumes your energy so fast, it's ridiculous. When you're behind charge, you can also use your Vital Shot, so it's whatever. This is another alternate way that you can take care of a situation if you choose to use cover. But make no mistake, cover was designed for Gunslinger, not designed for the Scoundrel. The Scoundrel, you're supposed to be going behind people, back blasting them, and doing all those awesome Scoundrel tricks, such as the Blaster Whip, the Sucker Punch, all that stuff. I've repeated these skills so many times it's not even funny anymore. So that is your secondary way to make damage. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I doubt you'll ever need to use it, but just in case you need to use it, you know what to do. Go behind cover, throw a couple nades, and your Charged Shot. It's not even Charged Shot, it's Charged Burst. Don't forget to spread some Vital Shots around if you're behind cover. Now, utility abilities. This class comes with a lot of utility. So starting up, obviously you have Stealth. So Stealth also allows you in certain instances, like say your group is doing an instance and they're like, oh, is there important loot in that section? Do we need to go there? Is there a boss there? What's in there? You just go in. You can be the first one into the room. You just go in, just keep on moving, never stop, or you might just get detected, as you guys can see. Just move through the enemies and scout ahead, whatever. You can scout for your party and make sure that you are spending your time well. Just in case they don't want to clear the whole instances. Sometimes there's locations and instances where there's just monsters and monsters and lots of monsters and nothing really of profit. So you as a Scoundrel can save them the time by stealthing through and showing them where stuff is. So another thing you have is a tranquilizer. Now the tranquilizer works just like the sap from World of Warcraft's Rogue. As you can see here, tranquilizer, boop. That enemy is crowd controlled. He's going to be there for 60 seconds. And it does not generate aggro, so you can just sap whoever you want. Doesn't make any difference. The other sap's going to disappear, as you can see, but your enemies will not aggro. However, what this means is that you can only use tranquilizer once per fight unless you use your disappearing act, which we will mention in a couple of minutes. So tranquilizer is basically a 60-second CC. Most characters can reapply their CCs. Well, the Scoundrel can't. You can't reapply a CC in combat. Apart from this CC, which is the tranquilizer, only really works on humanoids and aliens and whatever. He also has Slice Droid, which is equal to just about all the CCs from all the other classes, with the advantage that it does not have a cooldown, so you can slice up droids whenever you want during a combat. This may come in handy in certain instances in the future. So far I haven't seen like any specific time where it's been ridiculously an advantage over everything else. I mean, it was pretty decent, I believe, in the Mandalorian Raiders because I could keep slicing turrets all the time. So yeah, I guess it's just a different way of handling CC. He gets a special CC ability for slicing droids and a different one for slicing humanoids. This just means that his humanoid CC ability is slightly weaker. However, it does not pull aggro, but it cannot be reapplied in combat. And then he also has a really strong CC for droids. So those are all utility skills. Apart from that, you also have your flash grenade. What does flash grenade do? It stuns up to, well, not really stuns, it basically, let's say, saps 5 targets. Let me just read the description. Lobs a flash grenade that blinds up to 5 targets within 5 meters for 8 seconds. Damage causes this effect to end prematurely. So obviously if you damage those targets, the effect will end prematurely. So how can you use this to your advantage? Well, let's say that you caught aggro and for some reason people can't take aggro off you. You can either flash grenade and run away, or if you want to try and engage the enemy, you can actually flash grenade, run behind them, and start using the DPS abilities like, let's say, first shot, back blast. Well, not really first shot because you need to be stealth for that, but you can use an ability like back blast because you get positional advantage. So besides positional advantage, I believe that flash grenades can also work as an interrupt. And they also disable your enemies, therefore they should allow for cheap shots. So just think of it like that. Then you also have Dirty Kick, which is a stun, an interrupt, and it will also give you positional advantage, which will also allow you to go behind the enemies and backblast. So just remember, whenever you stun something, you can actually go behind it and use your backblast, just in case you have aggro or whatever. Like, for instance, let's say... Jesus, so many people in here. I'm gonna go ahead and... see there? Flash grenade. Can't do anything. Backblast. Now just back to normal action. Blaster whip. Sucker punch. That kind of stuff. Even a nade to the face just because I can. Come on, die already. Jeez. Each skill demonstration takes forever. There you go, shotgun blast to the face. To the back of the face, but to the face nonetheless. Also remember, you can recuperate. A lot of people, in instances I've noticed, don't seem to know that you can actually, every class has a regen ability that can regen your whole life and resource in a matter of seconds, and they just keep on going. I mean, seriously, completely unnecessary stress on the healer. So if you're in an instance, you should remember to use recuperate. Just saying. Now then, we were at Flash Grenade and Dirty Kick. Yeah, let's show you some Dirty Kick action as well. As you can see, here's the Cole Commando. How you doing, Cole Commando? Boom, get kicked in the ass, guy gets thrown down, and now he gets vulnerable for a cheap shot. And a back blast as well. Hello! And now we got Blaster Whip and obviously the good old Sucker Punch, which came with a Flying Fist included for free. And another Blaster Whip, and down he goes. So as you can see, that is how you can use your disables. You can also use this to interrupt skills as long as the mob casting it is vulnerable to it, because certain bosses are not vulnerable to stuns, therefore you can't use this as an interruption. Now obviously Another interruption skill is Distraction, which is your basic interruption with a 12-second cooldown. It has a 10-meter range, which means you got to be pretty close, but still it's incredibly useful. I've used it before. Everyone should know how to interrupt if you're a rogue type class, so I mean, obviously, learn how to use this distraction skill and love it, because everyone else will love it as well. So it's just your basic interrupt. Another skill that you have is Surrender. What does Surrender do? It is an aggro dump. Your character surrenders, drops all his money, so you basically lose aggro. It's a pretty hilarious skill in my opinion, so it's just an aggro dump. If you happen to pull aggro, that's the first skill you should go to. Now, in case you do not lose aggro once you do that, the next thing you need to do is Defense Screen! That is a cooldown, which means that this little droid here is going to be absorbing a whole bunch of damage for 15 seconds. So obviously you want to use your defense screen if your aggro dump fails. If, however, this still fails, the next skill you want to turn to will be Dodge, which I actually don't even have it in my bars right now. That is just ridiculous. I've been rearranging my bars all over the place. That's the reason why I don't have Dodge right now. Where is that Dodge? It's probably under Smuggler, because it sounds like a Smuggler skill. Here it is. What does Dodge do? It increases your chance to dodge melee and range attacks 100% for 3 seconds and does not break stealth. So, there you go. Also remember something special about, I'm not sure if it's about the Smuggler or the Scoundrel. Here it is. Lucky Dodge. Dodge also removes all hostile removable effects when used, so it should probably get rid of your bleedings, your dots, yours, whatever, whenever you dodge. So it's pretty sweet if you use your dodge thing and you happen to have a dot, it's going to go away, and yeah. So those are another set of defensive skills that you can use. Besides that, you also have your Tendon Blast, which slows people down. It's more useful, obviously, in a PvP situation. Slows people down for how long? For 12 seconds. Slows them down to 50%. So it's obviously a skill designed for PvP, so just keep it around in case you ever need anything like that. That is another utility skill in my opinion. Apart from that, you're also going to be getting eventually something called the Hard Trigger Patch. You're going to be wondering, what's the Hard Trigger Patch? Well, what that does is it allows you to combat res people. So you also have a combat res. It's extremely important utility ability. I shouldn't have to say this, but I will anyways. It's an extremely important utility ability that you need to, obviously, when people die, you can be able to res them during combat. Extremely important. And you will also get another skill, which is Smuggle, which is outside of combat. It's going to allow you to hide, basically, a whole bunch of people in your party, which will obviously allow you to bypass groups of monsters or stuff like that, but it's only for 15 seconds. Still, like I said, it's still a pretty useful utility. And another advantage to playing a Scoundrel is that in the heat of battle, if things go sour, you can actually take over the healer for a while, because you also got heals. Now, obviously, these aren't going to be as good if you are spec'd for it, but it can make the difference during a fight if you throw a couple of heals. In this game, it's, at least so far, it seems it can make quite the difference. So it's always something to consider. If things are going sour, grab your heals and go healing. And also remember, however, that you have your pugnancy thing, so even if you're just healing, it is good to go up to a mob and basically blast a whip in the face, like I'm going to do this guy. Blast a whip, bitch! And then you get your pugnancy going to get some increased regeneration, and you can just keep on healing. As you can see, quite an improvement on healing regeneration. Pretty sweet. And the final utility skill you have is, once you do poor usage of your energy, you will notice that energy is regenerating lower and lower as I'm going down and down. I'm right now, or should I say OOE? I don't know what to say about that. But as you can see, the energy is going down, the energy level is too low. What you want to do in these cases, you have a skill called Cool Head. Keeps a cool head, recovering 50 energy over 3 seconds. Boom! And there it goes. Cool Head is up, and once Cool Head is up, as you could see, the energy just boosted right up, because like I said, the more energy you have, the faster it regenerates. So this is your ability to use once you've got a little carried away with your DPS rotation. You can use this to just recover it. And that is going to be it, because we are slowly approaching 50 minutes of a guide, which is just completely and utterly way too long. Nobody's going to watch this all the way. But for those of you who do, thank you very much for watching. Hope this helps you play your Scoundrel Scrapper better. And I hope this sheds some light on the Scoundrel class. And that's going to be it for me for now. And I will see you guys in the next one.